Yeah, I've just never been in front of a camera before, except in the background of photographs sometimes. But most people just cut my head out.
Could you tell us your name, please?
Which is cool. My name's Andy, but legally it's Francis, except my dad named me after his father, and he said I was a hopeless sack of shit that would never mount up to him, so he started calling me asshole. And I just decided to go with Andy because it started with the same letter as asshole, and I didn't think it would piss him off too much. So, someone brought this poncho back from Mexico, I think. My mom bought it for me when I was a little boy because we didn't have a lot of blankets, and I was always freezing at night time. So she got it at a thrift store. My mom liked thrift stores a lot because she said that sometimes you can find gold jewelry amongst all the brass because people sometimes make some mistakes when other. You can't tell anyone that because that was her secret and she made me promise not to say anything. And I just realized that maybe I might have given the secret away. Yeah, I get itchy sometimes because this poncho, I think it has bugs in it. And normally if you just take it outside and give it a good shake, you can get rid of almost all of the bugs inside of it. But there's always a few that you can't shake off, which reminds me a lot of life. There's always a few bullies that you just can't shake. All of the computer guys in high school used to beat me up all the time. They said that it was just part of the food chain and that I was the lowest common denominator. I'm not a very fast runner because well, the kids at school say it's because my parents are poor and I can only afford shoes from Kmart. But one time, I painted a Nike swoosh on the side of my Kmart shoes, and it was probably one of the best moments of my life. Because on the walk to school, I felt like the other kids for a little while. Because I had Nikes. And then I got to school, and they knew that they weren't real Nikes. And they punched me in my feet. My favorite musician is either Evanescence, because of that song she sang called Falling, and how it reminds me of my entire life. I don't have the best balance, and my equilibrium is a little messed up ever since I had a bad sinus infection when I was a little boy. The time of my life when I realized there's only one thing for sure in this world, and that's that girls will never talk to me. The other sure thing in life, so there's two, right, is that we'll always die. So I knew that it would be over one day. So that was probably the happiest day of my life. My favorite food is probably the habanero pepper, because it always reminds me that there is a worse place than here on earth, and that place is hell. So that brings me up a little bit. I tuck it behind my ear because my hair reminds me a lot of life. How I don't have enough money to get it cut. And how hard it is to get it cut. Now I'm not very cut because my body is... I have jaundice as well. I'm one of the only victims of jaundice that hasn't turned yellow yet. Which reminds me a lot of life. How I'm always one step behind, I guess. I guess you can't be sure ever. You can be sure about one thing, though, that Monday through Sunday will probably be pretty sad days. I used to collect the barcode stickers because I'd have to fly to Vancouver to get my intestines stretched every couple weeks because of a bad alcohol and drug-induced coma that my mother put herself in when she was pregnant with me. So I would go to the hospital a lot by way of aeroplane. That's why I decided that my favorite sticker was the fragile sticker, because it reminded me of my life. He used to beat me up a lot. Well, not really up. He more beat me down. Self-esteem wise. And he would, one time he said, "Let me tell you a secret." While he was punching me, "You're a fag." I'm not a fag. Or a homosexual, I mean. I guess if you kiss a girl, then you can prove it. Prove that you're not a homosexual. So I don't have a lot of proof right now, but I find that I feel it inside that I'm a heterosexual. My favorite plant is probably the cactus, because it reminds me of life and how prickly it can sometimes be. So I use a lot of light bulbs, and I always leave them on because it helps me helps get one step closer to the end of the world, when every single one of us will be equal. And sometimes I feel like I'm a fire hazard because I'm always getting in people's way. I've never had alcohol because my mom had it when I was just in her belly. And now the enamel on my teeth isn't very good. So I always have to go to the dentist. And the dentist reminds me a lot of life because it's always painful. But I guess all in all, I got it pretty easy though. Because there's a lot of African kids that don't even have a poncho. So I got a poncho, right? Doesn't even look like you guys have ponchos, though. You have some really nice shirts, though. Thanks for putting me in your movie.